We are now called together, called by bell and bird, called by grass and clouds, called by the beat of our hearts, to join again the living tradition we share, to answer again the call to reason and curiosity. Today, with the bell ringing from Bongyeongsa Temple in the Gangnam district of Seoul, Korea, and the meadowlark singing in the meadows of the Americas, let us remember the fifth of our tradition's sources, humanist teachings which counsel us to heed the guidance of reason and the results of science, and warn us against idolatries of the mind and spirit.
Good morning. My name is Kim Force. I'm your hymn leader this morning. And just a word about the singing you'll hear this morning from me. I, as a safety precaution, test for COVID every Sunday morning before I sing for you, so I can confirm that I'm singing for you safely and confirm that negative result. So when we are singing together today, when we are lifting our voices together, I'll ask you to hum behind your masks so that we can continue to stay safe here in this space. That being said, I'd like to invite you to rise in body or spirit for our gathering song, number 360, Here We Have Gathered. Here we have gathered, gathered side by side, circle of kinship, come and step inside. May all who seek here find a kindly word. May all who speak here feel they have been heard. Come now together, this our heart's own song. Here we have gathered, called to celebrate days of our lifetime, matters small and great. We of all ages, women, children, men, infants and sages, sharing what we can, sing now together, this our heart's own song. Life has its battles, sorrows and regret, but in the shadows let us not forget. We who now gather know each other's pain. Kindness can heal us, as we give we gain. Sing now in friendship this our heart's own song. Thank you so much. Please be seated.
Good morning. Welcome to Community Unitarian Universalist Congregation at White Plains, New York, on land formerly of Lenape Nation. I'm Karen Leahy, your worship associate this morning. It's the 12th Sunday of autumn. The cold moon is now waxing gibbous and will be full next Saturday night. On the Christian calendar today is the third of 4 Sundays of Advent, the time leading up to Christmas. In the traditional Advent wreath, the 4 candles represent hope, peace, joy, and love. Today is the Sunday for lighting the candle of joy. So let's call all 12 of our candles joy. A special welcome to our visitors. We are honored to have you with us. If you are a first-time visitor who is in our sanctuary, we invite you, if you feel comfortable, to raise a hand or stand so that we may recognize and welcome you. Okay. And if you are online and new, we invite you to introduce yourself in the chat. For those joining us virtually, you will find a link to the order of service on our website at cuucwp.org. Our website also offers information to help keep us connected, as well as a donate button. Deborah Minetta will now lead our chalice lighting. If you are joining us online, we invite you to light a chalice or candle at home as we light the chalice here.
Good morning, everyone. On the 12th Sunday of the season, we dedicate our chalice to the fifth source of the living tradition we share. Humanist teachings, which counsel us to heed the guidance of reason and the results of science, and warn us against adulteries of mind and spirit. Please join me in the chalice lighting words from Hannah Sinesh in your order of service and on the screen. Blessed is the match consumed in kindling flame. Blessed is the flame that burns in the heart's secret places. Blessed is the heart that burns for justice and peace. Blessed is the match consumed in kindling flame.
New England ministers of the 18th and 19th centuries typically exchanged pulpits with one or another neighboring minister 1 or 2 Sundays a month. As sermons then were scholarly labors, painstakingly constructed essays about an hour and a half long, creating a new one every week was not sustainable. The pulpit exchange allowed for prior work to be reused for a new audience. The liberals didn't mind having conservative guest preachers in their pulpits because for liberals, doctrine wasn't terribly important. For conservative ministers, however, doctrinal orthodoxy was essential, so conservatives increasingly refused to do any pulpit exchanges with liberal ministers. The liberals tended to have a big tent attitude, feeling that the churches of the standing order could tolerate diverse opinion. The conservatives found liberals intolerably heretical, their faith and very sanity questionable. Goaded by these attacks, and at the urging of like-minded colleagues, William Ellery Channing reluctantly agreed to set forth the tenets of this liberal faith, which he did in a famous sermon in 1819. The persons involved were determined by a conscious, deliberate act to make it a manifesto to which the religious community would have to give heed. It was not the isolated utterance of an individual, but a party proclamation. This sermon, it was decided, would be given not in Boston, but in Baltimore. A half a dozen of Boston's most prominent ministers traveled with Channing 650 kilometers from home. The foray signaled the acceptance by the liberals of their own distinctive theological and ecclesiastical position at home. It also declared their intention to carry the gospel of liberal Christianity to other parts of the land as well.
Myself know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful
For our passing of the peace, most of you know we use American Sign Language. Let's do a quick review. The change, which is becoming quiet, was this peace, be with, you if you do an individual, with you if you do a group. Let's all do it together. And you can stand and share with each other. Peace, be with, you. Oh, and you can do this and with you too, if you want to just get a whole bunch and give it back.
Wake up, everybody. Good morning. I'm the Reverend Meredith Garmon, minister here. If you have a joy, sorrow, or milestone that you'd like to share, you may enter it in our book of joys and sorrows. For our online folks, you can type your joy or sorrow into the chat, and please make the first word joy, sorrow, or milestone so we can tell which messages for me to say out loud. The spoken invocation today is from a traditional text of Theravadan Buddhism, the Udisana Gata. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, may my spiritual teachers and guides of great virtue, my mother, my father, and my relatives, the sun and the moon, and all virtuous leaders of the world, may the highest gods and evil forces, celestial beings, guardian spirits of the earth, and the Lord of death, may those who are friendly, indifferent, or hostile, may all beings receive the blessings of my life.
Now please join in singing our sung invocation, and Adam will do 2 verses this morning for We Would Be One. We would be one as now we join in singing our hymn of love to pledge ourselves anew to that high cause of greater understanding of who we are and what in us is true. We would be one in living for each other to show to all a new community. We would be one in building for tomorrow a nobler world than we have known today. We would be one in searching for that meaning which binds our hearts and points us on our way. As one we pledge ourselves to greater service with love and justice,
strive to make us free.
The mission of Community Unitarian Universalist Congregation is the covenant of this congregation. Would all the members and visitors who would like to affirm it along with me? We covenant to nurture each other in our spiritual journeys, foster compassion and understanding within and beyond our community, and engage in service to transform ourselves and our world. Today's first Our Congregation segment is from Joe Majak, and then we will hear from Janet Baer.
Good morning. I'm Joe Majak and the chair of the Board of Trustees for this congregation. I welcome you. And this morning, I would like to invite you all to attend the forum immediately after service in Fellowship Hall, also in Zoom room 2210. We will be discussing the board's proposal to downsize the Board of Trustees from 11 members to 7 members. We will also be discussing amendments to the bylaws of the congregation associated with that change, and other modifications and cleanups of the bylaws that we're going to do at the same time. The board reduction has been in the planning stages for over 12 months, and it was accelerated by the upcoming ministerial transition, which will be further explained in the forum this morning. A proposal such as this requires changes to the bylaws and therefore a congregational vote. The vote will happen in the springtime. We have tentatively scheduled it for February 27th. Please join us today after service and share your views. We will be holding another similar forum in February. Please join us. Thank you.
Hopefully you've all been enjoying the choir's video recordings, of which you heard one today.
Merry Christmas!
Thank you. They've been part of our Sunday service since the beginning of the pandemic. Next Sunday, on the 19th, the choir will be performing our winter choral concert virtually. We've been busy over the past few months rehearsing online for this event, learning some new holiday songs and polishing up some of our favorites. Each of us has recorded these songs for the concert, and our CUUC quartet, which is comprised of Kim, Terry, who's in the back, Lisa, and Georgiana, have also recorded a holiday song, and there will be a solo performance from Lisa Meyer, our choir director. The concert's going to be online, as I mentioned, next Sunday, 4:30. We hope you'll be able to join us over Zoom from the comfort of wherever, your own home. The link will be found on the CUUC website. If you click on event calendar, and then you click on the date next Sunday, and then you click on 4:30, you'll find it. There's also a link written out in the program that was produced for today and next Sunday. So it's free to log in, and it's free to attend, although...
Free?
Yes, but...
It's unbelievable.
But you will have the opportunity to make a donation to support the music program via a link that will be in the chat. Thank you, and thank you, Kim.
We didn't even plan the colors, you guys.
Thank you for being with us in person and virtually. This morning, we share our gratitude for Christian Force, our sanctuary audio video coordinator and Zoom host, Pam Parker, who keeps us all organized and informed, Kim Force, whoops, where was she? who produces our media and leads our hymns and occasionally causes a little trouble. Alex Sedeva and Paula Megan, who greeted you in the lobby, and Betsy Walkup, who greeted you in the online chat, and John Cavallero, our lead usher this morning. Our Share the Plate this month is the Coachman Family Center, a 100-room shelter in White Plains that provides housing and services to local families in need. You can add your check to the collection basket or contribute online using the QR code on your order of service or the donate button on our webpage. After worship today, you can donate to your Coachman gift card collection by seeing JC in the lobby. Is JC here? There she is. Okay. And purchase a copy of this year's Common Read book by seeing Jeff Tomlinson. You can honor a loved one this holiday season by contributing to our chancel flower display using the forms in the lobby or by contacting the office, and your message will be included in our Christmas Eve order of service. Also, today is your last chance to donate gently used toys suitable for small apartments for our toy drive. Look for bins in the lobby or see Mary Cavallero. Our new mitten tree is here, over there, and awaits your donations of gloves, scarves, and hats for all ages, and your contributions of new socks and underwear for residents at local shelters. As you heard from Joe, today after worship, the Board of Trustees will host a congregation forum to discuss plans to reduce the size of the board and to amend our bylaws. The meeting is in Fellowship Hall and will live stream on Zoom. We hope everyone in person will stay and attend, and those online will log in to our Zoom 2210 space. You can find the link on our website. Extended childcare is available today for parents attending the forum. For parents who are not attending, we ask that you pick up children from religious education directly after worship. At 2 today, here in the sanctuary, we will gather to honor the life of longtime CUUC member Sandra Blum, who passed away in October. You may also view the service remotely on Zoom. The link is on our website, cucwp.org. This year's Christmas Eve service will be held at 5:30 p.m. on December 24th. In anticipation of higher attendance, we will be asking people to register ahead of time to ensure we have adequate seating while maintaining our COVID protocols. Instructions for reserving your spot will be sent this week via email. We remind everyone at this time that we are not holding an in-person or virtual coffee hour after worship. The living tradition we share draws on humanist teachings which counsel us to heed the guidance of reason and the results of science and warn us against idolatries of the mind and spirit. An idol is anything that is fixed and static. The divine creative movement of the universe is dynamic and changing. Human understanding is ever unfolding. Idolatry means clinging to a fixed static conception, closing ourselves to new learning. The guidance of reason and the results of science continually overturn our idols, challenge what we think we know. It is up to us to fashion together the community we seek, free of idols, ever open to new truth. So let the offering be gratefully given and gratefully received. As we mentioned, for December, the Share the Plate funds go to the Coachman Center. You can make your contribution for the congregation, the plate share, your pledge, and the minister's discretionary fund by placing your donation in the basket providing or using the QR code in your order of service or the donate button on our website. What is given in gratitude is received in gratitude.
After he had retired from his career as a matinee idol, piano virtuoso, the composer Franz Liszt took orders in the Roman Catholic Church and devoted himself to writing a kind of short pieces I'm about to play for you now. This is from a collection he called The Christmas Tree, which he dedicated to his granddaughter. This particular piece is called Lighting Up the Tree.
In prayer, we ground ourselves in gratitude and orient ourselves toward our purpose. So let us pray. Dear earth and cosmos, spirit of life and love, on the Christian calendar, it is the Advent season, the time of waiting. Remembering that to wait is to attend, as an attendant is one who waits on someone, or as the French word for wait is attend. We attend to the arrival of love made flesh to dwell among us. And love is made flesh in every birth, human and otherwise. Love is made flesh in every kind smile and helpful word. The incarnation is ever in flux, ever moving into new forms. We attend its new manifestations. We wait and do not wait at the same time. We attend to loved ones and attend to enlarging our circle of love. We attend to doing what small part we each have in curbing this pandemic, which has so far killed 5.32 million people. For the developers of vaccines and researchers tracking efficacy, thank you. We attend to the need to mitigate climate change as tornadoes ripped through 6 states on Friday, hitting Kentucky especially hard, and as flooding in South Sudan has displaced hundreds of thousands of residents. We attend in gratitude to the recognition of same-sex marriage in Chile, signed into law on Thursday. We attend to each other and to you, earth and cosmos, spirits of life and love. We also hold in our hearts the joys, sorrows, and celebratory milestones within our congregation, written today in the Book of Joys and Sorrows or entered online into the chat. We ask of ourselves the mindful intention to delight in what is good, to confront what is cruel, and to heal what is broken. Amen. We'll now observe a minute of silent meditation followed by musical meditation, and then sing along with the sung response.
Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
If everything is just a passing memory, and as in a dream, you can't really grasp anything, you have to wonder, who is aware of this? Who is the dreamer? Who is hearing these words right now? We know the answer to these questions. Me, I'm hearing these words. Nothing could be more obvious than this. But have you really examined it? When you have a moment, try this experiment. Find yourself, the me who hears and sees and feels. Find a definite, concrete, identifiable somebody there within your awareness. I think you will find this is not so easy to do. You can find plenty of thoughts and emotions, sensations, opinions, sense experiences, but it's difficult to find an I. Imagine that suddenly, for no reason, your mind were to become very quiet, and there was only a feeling of presence, and there is nobody complaining, and there are no stories going on in your mind. There's only awareness. You may well have had such an experience in a moment of spontaneous repose. If you should experience a moment like this, it will become instantly clear to you that awareness is something extremely mysterious, and that we really don't know where it comes from or what it is at all. Examine the nature of awareness and see for yourself.
Our hymn is number 319, Ye Earthborn Children of a Star. I invite you to rise in body or spirit, if the spirit moves you, and hum along with me.
Ye earthborn children of a star, amid the depths of space, the cosmic wonder from afar, within your mind's embrace. Look out with awe upon the art of countless living things, the counterpoint of part with part, as nature's chorus rings. Beyond the wonder you have wrought within your little time, the knowledge won, the wisdom sought, the ornaments of rhyme. Seek deeper still within your souls and sense the wonder there, the ceaseless thrust to noble goals of life are free and fair. Ye earthborn children of a star, who seek and long and strive, take humble pride in what you are, be glad to be
be seated.
The Taoist text, the Tao Te Ching, dates back to the 6th century BCE. It consists of 81 short chapters, about 100 words each. There have been many translations into English, and I own about 17 of them. The last words, the last lines of the last chapter of the Tao Te Ching, and I'm aware there is scholarly disagreement about the proper order of the chapters, but in all the versions most and longest familiar to English readers, including the Stephen Mitchell, by far the most widely read English version, the book ends, and this is Stephen Mitchell's version, "The Tao nourishes by not forcing, by not dominating, the Master leads." Those lines are translated by Wang Keiping as "the Tao of heaven benefits all things and causes no harm. The Tao of the sage acts for others, but never competes with them." Huaqing Ning renders it as "the subtle way of the universe is beneficial, not harmful. The integral nature of a person is to extend one's virtue unconditionally and contend with no one." William Scott Wilson gives "the way of heaven clears the ground for cultivation and does not hinder. The way of the sage is to act but not contend." Ursula Le Guin, the great sci-fi and fantasy writer, has a version of the Tao Te Ching out. Hers says, "The way of heaven profits without destroying. Doing without outdoing is the way of the wise." Doing without outdoing. Nice. Philosopher Archie Baum gives, "Nature's way is to produce good without evil. The intelligent man's way is to accept and follow nature rather than to oppose nature." But my favorite version of those last two lines is an obscure self-published version I happened to come across, produced in the 1980s by the late Unitarian Universalist minister Reverend Jacob Trapp, who died in 1992. He gives it as, "The way of the wise is not to rule, but to guide. The Tao of heaven is not to possess, but to bless." That word, bless, which I have found in no other translation, touched me. Suddenly, the directive felt vivid and clear. Not to rule, but to guide. Not to possess, but to bless. That picture of moving through the world, going about all one's daily tasks in a way that blesses whatever is contacted, whatever is acted upon. That moves me in a way that act without contending, or any of the other translations, doesn't. How do you become a person whose actions bless? Like a carpenter who blesses the wood just by the way she joins and nails it. Like a gardener whose tilling, planting, weeding, and watering blesses soil and seed, blesses the water sprinkled and even the weed pulled. Like a doctor who blesses every patient and every nurse and medical technician and receptionist, who blesses every tongue depressor just by the firm yet gentle expertise with which he handles it. Like a marathon runner whose every step blesses the road. There's a kind of blessing that isn't consciously chosen. It just implicitly flows from one's actions, an uncalculated beneficence, an unself-conscious habit of compassion, a gracefulness of motion. And then there's a kind of blessing that is consciously chosen. Another Unitarian Universalist minister, Reverend Rebecca Parker, wrote, "Choose to bless the world." She wrote, "Our gifts, whatever you discover them to be, can be used to bless or curse the world. The mind's power, the strength of the hands, the reaches of the heart, the gift of speaking, listening, imagining, seeing, waiting. Any of these can serve to feed the hungry, bind up wounds, welcome the stranger, praise what is sacred, do the work of justice, or offer love. Any of these can draw down the prison door, hoard bread, abandon the poor, obscure what is holy, comply with injustice, or withhold love. You must answer this question. What will you do with your gifts? Choose to bless the world. The choice to bless the world is more than an act of will, a moving forward into the world with the intention to do good. It's an act of recognition, a confession of surprise, a grateful acknowledgement that in the midst of a broken world, unspeakable beauty, grace, and mystery abide. There is an embrace of kindness that encompasses all life, even yours. And while there is injustice, anesthetization, evil, there moves a holy disturbance, a benevolent rage, a revolutionary love, protesting, urging, insisting. That which is sacred will not be defiled. Those who bless the world live their life as a gesture of thanks for this beauty and this rage. The choice to bless the world can take you into solitude, to search for the sources of power and grace, native wisdom, healing, and liberation. And more, the choice will draw you into community, the endeavor shared, the heritage passed on, the companionship of struggle, the importance of keeping faith, the life of ritual and praise, the comfort of human friendship, the company of earth, the chorus of life, welcoming you. None of us alone can save the world. Together, that is another possibility. So choose, Reverend Parker urges, to bless the world. Over time, it may become habit, an unself-conscious way of being. It begins with a conscious turning toward. Choose to bless the world. There's blessing, the noun, a thing that brings goodness, joy, or help to our lives. Food is a blessing. Waking up in the morning is a blessing. Air filling the lungs is a blessing. Friends are a blessing, and if you're lucky, so is family. In this sense, the theme, blessing, is essentially the same as the theme, gratitude. Reflecting on, noticing, attuning to, and taking in the blessings of our lives is all about noticing things for which to be grateful and being grateful for them. But blessing also has this other side. Besides the blessings you receive, there is the blessing that you do, that you give. Besides blessings, the nouns, there is blessing, the present participle of the verb, to bless. And it is that present participle verb that I've been talking about. The noun and the verb make a feedback loop. When you pay attention to the blessings you receive, you're naturally primed to look for ways to be a blessing yourself, ways to bless the world, which in turn helps keep you attentive to the blessings you receive. It's essentially the same feedback loop of gratitude and generosity. Being grateful strengthens your generous impulse, and being generous strengthens our gratitude. With blessing, the same word names both sides of the loop. You receive and have received gifts, which you can use to enrich the lives of others, or not. You can choose to notice the blessings. You can choose to be a blessing. By yourself, you can bless the world a little bit, together with others, more. And now let's receive a musical blessing from Adam.
In this arrangement of a Christmas carol from the Catalan region of Spain, the three magi seek to bring blessings to baby Jesus in the form of popular Mediterranean food goods like olives and figs and bread. ¿Qué le darem? What shall we bring him?
In the Jewish tradition, the Talmud teaches saying 100 blessings a day over any little thing, a piece of fruit, a cup of tea, a sandwich. Blessed are you, Yahweh, our God, source of life, who creates the fruit of the tree, or by whose word all comes into being, or who brings forth bread from the earth. The item is blessed by saying that its source is blessed. Blessedness belongs to the source. Just acknowledge where it came from, whether you say God or earth or all that is. In your journey group packet for this month, there's a piece by Martin Seligman in which he recommends a simple practice. Each night, set aside 10 minutes, sometime between dinner and bed, and write down 3 good things that happened that day. 3 good things. Then, next to each positive event, answer the question, why did this happen? In other words, just as the Jewish tradition teaches, acknowledge the source. How did it come about? The Talmud goes on to teach, whoever has enjoyment of something from this world without saying a blessing, it is as if she or he had improper enjoyment of the thing, as if she or he has robbed the Holy One and the community. Robbed, it says. Receiving without blessing, without acknowledging source, is a kind of theft. Robbing from the source without giving the payment of acknowledgement and thanks. There is so much that is granted, and we take it. If we take it and it is granted, How do we not take it for granted? It's a simple matter to pause and acknowledge the source of the food you're going to eat, of the house that shelters you, of the friendships that soothe and enrich, of the great green earth, clear air, quenching water. Thank you, earth and ecosystems, farmers, transporters, and marketers for this food. Thank you, earth and builders, for this housing that shelters me. Thank you, social institutions that bring friendship into being and are the forces that brought those social institutions into being. Acknowledging the source means recognizing that the thing comes from, is produced by all of reality. It means seeing the thing in the light of its place, its belonging in the web of interconnection. In the Talmud, the broader whole is recognized by saying Yahweh is blessed. You might choose different language when you bless. Rabbi Toba Spitzer writes, saying blessing is an opportunity for a particular kind of awareness. If I were really to think about all that it has taken to bring a plate of vegetables to my table, all the natural elements of sun and earth and rain, all the human elements of planting and harvesting and transporting and selling, as well as the godly power that underlies the whole process, I'd feel a profound connection every time I sat down to eat. I would have a better realization of the myriad ways my life is intertwined with people all over the planet. It's a point that's made in other faith traditions as well. Thich Nhat Hanh from the Buddhist tradition, for example, emphasizes mindfulness of interconnection. The mealtime blessing in Thich Nhat Hanh centers and retreats begins by noting, this food is the gift of the entire universe, the earth, the sky, and much hard work. Taking a moment to say so calls attention, awareness, to the vast complex to which we are linked through receiving gifts. Whatever the faith tradition, the universal need that blessing addresses is the need of acknowledgement, gratitude, interconnection, relationship. Blessing affirms and reinforces our sense of place within an interconnected network, a web of mutual care, a web that looks, if we attentively look, like beloved community itself. Through blessing, we help ourselves and one another see that web and realize beloved community. We bless because we can, and because we need to belong, to know our place, to feel ourselves held in relationships of support that ultimately include all reality. We need to not live our lives like a bull in a china shop, charging about, heedless, reckless. We have known people like that. We have sometimes ourselves been like that bull in a china shop. Earlier, I asked, how do you become a person whose every action blesses? Like a carpenter who blesses the wood just by the way she joins and nails it, or like a marathon runner whose every step blesses the road. How does life feel like gracefully moving with things rather than contending against them? How does a life become a dance and not a fight? I don't know. There's something mysterious about how that happens, if it happens. My suggestion, though, would be start with choosing to bless the world, choosing to say a blessing, which is to say to recognize something as a benefit and be consciously thankful of its source, choosing to be a blessing to others. Gradually, perhaps, that the blessing, both the noun and the verb, will infuse your way of being. Gradually become an unconscious habit for you to, as the Tao Te Ching says, nourish by not forcing, lead by not dominating, do without outdoing, not to rule, but to guide, not to possess, but to bless. Let's begin by choosing to bless. Bless ourselves and each other with a wish that we be well, peaceful, at ease, whole, and filled with loving kindness, which wish we express in our closing hymn.
I invite you to rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, which is number 1031, Filled with Loving Kindness, and it's a prayer for blessing.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
Thank you. Please be seated. As we extinguish our chalice here, we invite those of you on Zoom to extinguish your chalice at home. Please say with me the words on the screen. We extinguish this chalice and carry with us the flame of reason to shine with us always against every idolatry.
And may the blessing that you are grow and expand, and may your life indeed be a dance and not a fight. Go in peace.
If you've got troubles, then I've got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. If we stick together, we can see it through. 'Cause you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. Now some other folks might be a little bit smarter than I am, bigger, stronger too. Maybe, but none of them will ever love you the way I do. Just me and you, boy. And as the years go by, our friendship will never die. light.